Yes, welcome to another edition of Just Give Me the Mic. I am your host, Deborah Coco. And as we all know, November is now Hip Hop History Month. And I have a lot of legendary friends. So I have decided that, I've talked to some males recently. You've seen me talking to some male legends in the game, and they came on and they shared their story. But I felt it was very important for me to reach out to one of my sisters in hip hop, a legendary queen that from the time that I seen her perform as a little girl, I was just so inspired to see this female in this movement of hip hop. And then as I got older, I was honored to have the opportunity to meet her and to develop a friendship and just to continue to watch her flourish and grow. So today is about giving you some hip hop history and also giving some flowers to a woman that I respect in the game, which is MC Sha ROck, and I'm so happy to have her. And I'm happy to say she's from the Boogie Down Bronx, just like myself. So if you do not know who MC Sha ROck is, check out this video and we'll be right back with my guest, MC Sha ROck.
Welcome, my friends from the Bronx, the Funky 4+1 more.
In the early 1970s, a musical genre was born in the neighborhoods of the South Bronx, and so was MC Sha ROck and her group, the Funky 4+1 More, making her hip-hop's first influential female MC.
Cause the sun won't shine, the rain won't stop. We got the style, you call punk rock. Let's get about the jail, stop the have some more. With two DJs,
Still rocking crowds, still preserving the hip-hop culture, Sha ROck continues to do her thing.
1, 2, this is for you, and you. 3, 4, that's the Lord, guess what I have in store. 5, 6, this is for the hypnotize and memorize the hip-hop mix. 7, 8, 9, 10, always straight. 9, 10, I possess the beat that has no end. 11, 12, as I take it from the top of the train on down to the depths of hell. You witness the sounds of the first female Louis Mercy on mic ever.
Often referred to luminary icon or mother of the mic, Sha ROck has built a foundation for other MCs worldwide. She continues to inspire and educate by teaching the hip-hop culture at universities. This icon has received dozens of awards and honorees for her contribution to the hip-hop culture, recently receiving her own subway stop and ordained her own day in the South Bronx.
We have ordained this day in the Boogie Down Bronx, named after the great Sha ROck.
Yes, MC Sha ROck was a part of an all-male group, but she is still the first and only female MC.
Sha ROck is the woman with the magical touch. I'm like burning fire. You know,
first female nice chick. Bars were dope. Sha ROck's incredible.
I love it. Welcome, MC Sha ROck, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today on Just Mike, and I appreciate everybody out there that rocks with hip-hop culture to the fullest. And shout out to everybody out there. It is November, and it is Hip-Hop History Month. And we're here to say yes.
Like I said, when I first met you, I've actually met the male members of your group first. Yeah. Rodney Stone, Keith, because, they were here in New York. Yeah. So when I started my show, I would always run into them and I kept hearing Sha ROck, Sha ROck. Then I started seeing the videos, like I said, when I was younger. And then I put 2 and 2 together because as time passed, sometimes you forget. Right. But you are definitely a luminary icon. Still being blessed by the industry. I remember my very first interview with you was at the empowerment of women in hip hop.
I do.
Remember that?
I remember, and it was an honor to meet you as well. And I just want to say, I want to thank you for bringing light, to hip hop culture and everything that you do, especially in New York City. So shout out to you as well. you know.
Thank you. And we all know that this is a hard game for females in general in this game. But, you know, certain people manage to make it through and to still shine and make their contribution. So for those, do not, first of all, I've never asked you about your name, Sha ROck. I know your name is Sharon, but
Yes.
how did you get, where did you get the rock part from? Because you was rocking the mics?
Well, actually, for everybody that don't know the background of MC Sha ROck, I started off as a B girl back in 1976. So I used to travel around the Bronx, you know, going to jams, going to park jams and different venues with a lot of the B-boys that was out back then. And so, but this particular time of how I got the name MC Sha ROck was because at the end of 77, I auditioned to be a part of an organization that was called the Brothers Disco, and they were searching for MCs. And so at the time, it was only like 2 MCs that was a part of the organization, which was 2 guys. And so I got the part as the 3rd MC, and the actual manager and that was of the whole Brothers Disco organization. Gave me the name. Since I rhymed for him, he said, "Okay, your name is Sharon. We'll call you Sha, and I'll put the rock to the end of your name." So that's how I got the name of Sha ROck when I first became an MC. Yes.
Okay. I thought it was when you joined the Funky 4 plus 1 more. So how did that whole intro? No, it wasn't. Okay.
And see, and so let me take you back to history, because this is
yes.
Mom.
Yes.
A lot of people, when they hear the record format, they hear the +1. So I'm the +1. If you hear anybody saying, well, you know, I'm gonna bring my +1, that came from Sha ROck, but that was in 1979, right?
Okay.
I am a part of the original Funky 4. I am the first female MC of an all-male group, which I helped create the original Funky 4 back in, even though I was rhyming in 77, I created the original Funky 4, you know, back in 78, which included KK Rockwell, Keith, myself, and Raheem, which later went on to be a part of the Furious 5. But Raheem was with us for almost like a year and a half or so. And so I was an original member. The +1 wasn't added until me and Raheem left the group in like June of 1979, and he went over to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 4 at the time, and they became the Furious 5. And then I came back to the Funky 4, and they had 2 new members, and what they did was added on the +1 more, which I was the +1 more. But I was the original Funky 4 before the Funky 4 +1 that came in 1999. Yes.
Okay, so now we have clarity, because I did know that Raheem was a part of the group and that he did left. So I'm glad you definitely broke that down for us and explained how the whole transitions were taking place at that time. So what was it about you that made you want to be an MC, that made you want to rock the crowds and do your thing?
Well, this was the thing. I was born in Wilmington, North Carolina, right? And when I was 8 years old, my mom brought us up to New York, you know, because we was trying to get away from all the racial tension that was going on in North Carolina at the time, like in the late 60s. And so my mom had always introduced me to, you know, poetry. You know, you had people like Nikki Giovanni that I heard in my house all the time. You know, I would always hear my stepfather to Muhammad Ali, you know, so if he say, you know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, you know, your eyes can, you know, hit what your hands can't see, you know, all that, you know. So I was introduced to that, you know, so poetry. So when I had the opportunity to be able to audition for the what was to become the Funky 4, I jumped on it because I knew that I had the skills. I knew as not even thinking as a female, I knew that I can do it. I didn't understand at the time what the whole MC, you know, culture meant at the time, because everything was really like forming when it came to the groups. But I knew if it came to a rhyme, I can, you know, put a rhyme together, make it sound good, and just make it come to life. And so those were my influences. My mother, Muhammad Ali, and Nikki Giovanni was the influence in my life where I can say, yeah, I can do this. I can do this when it came time for that audition.
So how old were you at the time? Because you was just a young teenager at that time.
I was 16 at the time. I was 16 at the time when I became a B girl. Right. And then by 1977, going into, I was 15 but with 16 when I was going into 78, I was 17 at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those who do not understand what it is to be a B-boy or a B-girl, can you give us some definition on that?
So the terminology right now, as everybody know it, is breakdancer. But in the history of hip hop culture, we never called it breakdance. We called ourselves B girls or B boys, which we would go around and break to the different beats that the DJ played, And so we were called B girls and B boys and not breakers. That breakers didn't come to like the terminology of breakers didn't come to like the 80s, but we were called B girls and B boys, and I was that B girl.
Okay. And you just recently, didn't you receive like an honorary award or something for that, a citation?
The state of New York and also Douglas Malone. I received a citation for being like one of the best 35 B girls and B boys in New York City in the 70s. So I was honored to receive that simply because it was like a validation, not that, I need it, but I think it was for any, body that was out there, being a B girl or B boy at that time and getting recognized for what they have brought to the culture. And that's one of the main elements of hip hop culture is to be a B girl or B boy. So, I mean, that was probably like the best citation that I could have ever received because that was Ernie, so I'm happy that I was acknowledged for that.
Well, congratulations to that, because the only way to really validate how you were moving or if you were actually there were flyers.
True.
Right?
Yeah, flyers and cassette tapes.
Right, cassette tapes.
And also let me also tell you too, and for everybody that doesn't know out in hip hop history, and I would like to make a point real fast because it's very important that people understand the contributions of women, and especially Sha ROck being out there on the front line. I'm on over almost 500 flyers. 500 flyers was a way for us to communicate within the hip hop culture. The radio stations, they didn't know our music. They didn't know what was going on in the Bronx at that time. They didn't know anything about the culture that was exploding. And one of our form of communications, that would hit all boroughs, in New York City was through flyers. So if you weren't on that flyer, that means that your name wasn't ringing in the streets of New York City, and you weren't able to move the craft. I wouldn't say weren't able to move the craft forward, but that was how people understood how you were very important in the culture that was about to be on the rise. And so with me, I am the first female MC that had been over almost 500 flyers in the history on the onset of hip hop culture. You understand? And those flyers floating around right now. And also when you talk about like the MC culture, I am the first female MC that was a part of a group to help enlist the MC, the style of the MCs, the MC culture. We were the first to use microphones. We were the first to use mic stands. We were the first to be considered like the Gladys Knights and the Pips of hip hop. And that's what I did, as a female MC. I was an innovator, a trailblazer, and the first female influencer to help move this culture forward along with the male MCs that was out there at the time.
Yes, that's exactly why I felt it was very important to have a conversation with you, because I do realize how much you've really done. I mean, you're speaking at universities. I see you speaking at so many different hip hop events. You was just at like the induction ceremony also, right? Where you met just recently. You were there. And what was that called? It was like
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh, you talking
yes.
About- Yes.
Yes.
Well, yeah, me and Grandmaster Cats, we went down there because we do have a show on Rock the Bells Radio with LL Cool J, and it's called That's the Joint. And so we went down there to represent everybody that, got inducted. Jay-Z got inducted, LL Cool J got inducted, the Go-Go's got inducted. It was a lot of people that got inducted that should have got inducted for everything that they contribute to music in general, not just rock and roll music, but to music in general. It was an awesome time, and it was a celebration for everybody out there. Yeah.
Over 35 years later, it's like the blessings keep coming in, and that's one thing. Every time I see your posts on social media, I'm like, oh my God, like it's like it's like limitless. You are still receiving blessings. Things are still coming to you. And I'm like, even when I went to MC Sha ROck Day, I was like, wow, like she had you. I mean, sometimes, we live our everyday lives and you don't really realize how many people you touch sometimes because we get caught up in our own worlds. But to be a walking legend, like, how does that feel for you today? Because as you mentioned, Flyers validated you. Nobody really understand how far the MC was going to go or the music was going to go or the culture itself, because it was brand new. It was like an explosion. So to be considered or to be in a position that you are in today, like, how does that feel for you as far as your legacy that you're leaving behind?
Well, let me say this. When you talk about legacy and you talk about history and women, especially in hip hop culture, when they started doing documentaries and started doing, shows and, about hip hop culture, they never took it to the women. They never said what the women has done for hip hop culture. Now, the information has always been out there, but the problem is that I never had the fight of my life to tell the history of the culture, because I get it, Deborah. A lot of men that was out there with me, they want their stories to be told too, because they feel like if they were a part of the culture, then their stories should be told. But my has always been, okay, that's true, but let's tell the story right. Let's tell the story right about how things really went down. Because a lot of times if you hear me talking about, well, Sha ROck did this or Sha ROck did this or Sha ROck did that, it's not like I'm waving my own flag, because there's people behind me that's going to wave the flag for me. But the thing is that if I don't tell the history and tell it the correct way of how it truly went down, then the story that you would get on the culture of women in hip hop culture will be distorted many years to come, because I've seen that. So that's why it's very important to say that if I tell you I'm the first female MC of hip hop culture, if I tell you that I was the innovator, if I tell you that I was the one that was the first female influencer for both men and women, then I need to be able to back up what I say. And I can do that. This is why I'm here today, to let you know that Sha ROck was that innovator, was that influencer, you know what I'm saying? And she was that first female MC that was that person for both men and women. It's like the Fat Joes and the Beastie Boys and, Blondie or Common or Curtis Blow, and these are the people that would tell you how I influence the culture as a female MC.
Yes. Definitely being, and as being an interviewer, for the past 10 years, I haven't been at an event that I haven't heard your name. I've seen numerous interviews from like Latifah, MC, like so many different people, they mention your name, so it's definitely validation and flowers for everything that you've done. And, even today, it's kind of hard. I feel even as we see the new age female MCs doing their thing, it's still male dominated years later. So how do you feel about that? What kind of changes do you think need to be put in place to help the females to really be catapulted into in the right way, where it has nothing really to do with the looks and the sex appeal, but just to be respected for the lyricism, to be respected as, the messages, like lyricism, like I said, and other contributions that they're making to the hip hop industry?
A good question. And the thing is that for me, Deborah, let's go back. I never had to worry about any of that, any of what the females or the women are dealing with today, simply because I came up in the era where it was from the beginning. So I was like right there. So they didn't look at me as, like, I don't know, I can't, whatever you can call it, because they checked me on my skills, and that's what I had, because we were talking about from the beginning. Now, when you're talking about now, I think that it's getting a little bit better from the women in terms of being recognized. However, a lot of times things are controlled by what, certain, people want to put out there, for you to see and target certain genders of or genres of numbers of ages of people who they want that type of image to be seen. But my thing is that you have so many different women out there that are, you know, MCs that's holding it down and will continue to hold it down. And I say, continue to do what you got to do. The only way that you would be able to break through is you got to keep moving and stay true to your craft and create your own lane. You have to create your own lane, because if not, sometimes you may not be let in through that lane that's the most popular. So you have to create your own name. You have to continue to keep waving your flag and having other people waving a flag for you, and at the same time be true to your craft. So yes, I think that it's getting better, you know, but you still have to, you know, you still got to create your own lane, and you still got to keep it moving, but stay true.
Yes. So at one time, I know me and you, we had a discussion about the film, the documentary of MC Sha ROck. Is that still going to happen?
Yes, it is. Okay, so this is the thing, right? It's like the history of MC Sha ROck is there. You understand? There's no doubt about it, you know, and everything could be solidified. But I felt like, okay, so let me take a step back. You know, for the young kids, you know, for people like that out there now that's watching this that don't know who Sha ROck is, especially in the Bronx, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is our history. This is your history. You understand? And so I regrouped. I said, okay, so let me go back out there, reinvent myself, put all the information that's out there and get involved in everything that I could possibly get to let people know, okay, this is who Sha ROck is. This is the foundation of the female MCs. So I regressed into the back and stood back and say, okay, let me put that aside. But now, I mean, I have the script ready to go. You know, next year we're going to go full force and trying to get, you know, the movie Luminary Icon done and bring it to fruition. But I took a stand back, you know, to make sure that I reinvent myself and introduce myself to the world again and give them that history. And, you know, so they'll be able to know exactly where Sha ROck is coming from.
Now, is the movie going to be kind of based on the book that you wrote? Because I know you wrote a book in 2010. Okay.
And no, now, so in 2010, I gave you a snippet of what was going on, but the book is going deeper into my life, you know, exactly how I got from point A to point B and more things that were going on in my life that I didn't talk about in the book. Yes.
Okay. So was it music industry related, or like, you know, your personal life outside of music?
You mean what? The movie or
the book? Like some of the topics that you focus on in the book.
It was both, but I really didn't tell too much of the personal side for the book. I did, but then I didn't. And so with the movie, the script is going to bring sort of something totally different, you know, as far as the acting of the ambiance of what really, you know, went down. You understand? And so it gives a broader picture of who MC Sha ROck is.
So a lot of times when I talk to artists, they always said that, you know, they were in groups and they used to go from boroughs to boroughs and battle and do things like, you know, battle other groups that they heard were popular to try to get that ranking, you know, to be known, right? So did females do that as well?
Let me tell y'all, New York, Bronx, New York. If y'all don't know now, this is history. This is Hip Hop History Month. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Four, before they became the Furious Five, and DJ Breakout and DJ Baron and the Funky Four, before we became the Funky 4+1, created the first MC battles in the history of hip hop culture. So Sha ROck was the first female MC to be a part of any MC battle, and I helped create those battles. And the history is there. You can go back and check on the flyers to see the Funky Four battling. You could see Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and the Funky 4+1 battle. So yes, I helped create the first MC battles along with the Furious Four and the Funky Four back in the 70s.
Wow. Wow. I can see you with your mic in the crowd. Like, let them have it.
Y'all, we got the history, we got the flyers and all of that stuff to prove what I say. Listen, I don't talk about, when it comes to hip hop culture, Deborah, I don't talk about stuff that I don't know. You understand? Right. I talk about It's like if a person have a flyer and they can say this happened at this flyer, or they can collect flyers. I live those flyers, so I can talk about it a lot more because it ain't just to have a flyer, but if you actually live that event, it goes beyond what the flyer may be able to say. So I can tell you a lot about what's going on in that flyer because I lived it. You understand? I don't have to talk to nobody. I don't have to go and ask the next man or women what went on at that time. I lived it. So yes, the battle era began with the Funky Four and the Furious Four, Grandmaster Flash and DJ Breakout and Baron.
I always wished I could have been in the park to catch some of these jams live,
We had, let me tell you this also, for a history lesson, Sha ROck is the first female MC to ever play at the Audubon Ballroom where Malcolm X got assassinated. So we had battles in Audubon Ballroom. We had battles in the PAL. We had battles in many other places, but the battle era began with the Furious Four and the Funky Four before they became the Furious Five and the Funky Four, and we became the Funky 4+1. Yes.
It's an incredible era. And then, I mean, to sit back now, like, I'm a teacher and I have students come up to me, I want to be a rapper. I want to be an MC. And I tell them, don't just be focused on the artists that you hear nowadays on the radio. Please go back. All of the artists that have paved the way and opened up the doors for you, they have lessons that can help you, that you can learn from. If it's not about the industry, it could be about the message, it could be about the style. So many things that they can learn. And they actually been coming up to me like, Miss, I found out who Spoonie G is. Miss, I found out who, they running down names. And I'm like, yes, continue to do that. Because not because I know some of these people, but because they really paved the way for everybody that's on tour now that you're running around to see at all these jam fests and these, these people, they wouldn't even be here. No, they wouldn't even have anything to pull from. Right. So definitely don't disregard the source and the beginnings because it's just as important.
And it's so much very important because when you talk about the music industry and what's going on now, myself, along with a lot of other people, created a multi-billion-dollar business.
Yes.
A multi-billion-dollar business. Back then in New York City, and especially in the Bronx, you seen the buildings. The buildings was burning. Every time you come outside, this is what you see. But for us, it was normal to us. They say New York was burning. I say we were resilient. Simply because we didn't let that stop us. We created a multi-billion-dollar business. And even though we may see the fruits of what we created, to me, as an MC and as a pioneer of this culture, I don't worry about that. Because I think that when it's all said and done, to know that I was there and I helped created this culture and was a part of this culture, that's all the jewels in the world that I need. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know how to survive. I've been surviving all of these years. But to know that I was instrumental in creating a $1 billion business, listen, I'm fine. But I think at the same time, as you say, it's good for people and young kids to go back and just learn. From even now, I know hip hop culture and I know the era that I come from. But I'm always still learning. I'm always still listening to, some of the new school artists today, their flows and how they rhyme and how they, put their rhymes together. Simply because I think as an artist, whether or not you like it or you not, it could only improve the way that your skills. So if I want to jump on somebody's track and somebody call me and say, Sha ROck, I want you on my track, then I prepare for it because I could adapt to my situation or anything. I won't conform, but I know how to adapt. You understand?
Yes, yes. As we've seen in that opening clip when you was rocking that mic with that, that break beat was coming on and you was flowing, doing your thing. So you definitely have the skills. They didn't go nowhere. You still, it's like I think you be doing shows on the low and you don't be telling us because you see like you still got the skills. So let's talk about the journey as far as business wise. Who was the Funky 4+1 more? Like what labels were you signed to and how did the group transgress going forward?
Okay, so in 1978, as I said before, the Furious Four and the Funky Four were dominating New York City. You understand? And so what happened was when the record year came around, that was in 1979. And so we were approached by Bobby Robinson, who had owned Enjoy Records up in Harlem. And so Spoonie G, he was Spoonie G's nephew. And so Spoonie G said to him, and what we was told through him, he said, okay, who's the best groups that's out in New York City right now? So Spoonie G directed him to the Funky 4+1, because by that time, in 1979, we had became the Funky 4+1. So in July, when we was the Funky 4+1, by November, we had our first recording contract in 1979. So what happened was we became the first hip hop group, authentic hip hop group, that was on the streets of New York, that was rapping in the parks, that was playing in all the hip hop venues to ever have a record deal. So we signed to Enjoy Records in November of 1979, went in there and cut the record in one day, and boom, we had a record. It wasn't until we had our first record. And although you had other songs come out in 1979, we were the first hip hop group to sign to Enjoy Records, and they had a record out there. Yes.
Nice. A little bit more history for you. We dropping the jewels all show. Now I want to do a throwback. I want to play a video snippet, and I want to talk about, like, tell us anything that comes to mind in regards to this video. We're going to do a little throwback moment right now.
What we got?
Do it right. Break up. Could you do it right this time for us?
Let's just rap
it right?
Yes, let's talk about this.
Just take it from the top, break out. Let our record play one more
now,
time.
who is that? Tell us who the members are.
And that right there is
one more time. Do it up, y'all. Come on.
Check it out.
Now, this is after y'all was already signed to Enjoy.
Right.
Little Rodney C.
So Little Rodney C married.
Wait, your audio and your video is freezing up just a little bit. And you were also the first group on Saturday Night Live, right? To represent hip hop, right?
Yeah. So let me.
Okay, we're going to come back to the video. I just wanted to play this because look at you. I want people to see you. This is when we talk about validation. This is validation. Look how young she was on that mic back then.
So this was 1980, right? Late 79, we had just cut our first song, Rapping and Rockin' the House, which was like the longest running song in the history of hip hop and the first running song in the history of hip hop under Enjoy labels. So people were calling us all over when they heard the song because they wanted to hear that authentic hip hop that was going on in the Bronx. And so we were the first group, and I was the first female MC to play for people outside of the African American community. We were going down to the mud clubs, the punk rock clubs, the Ritz. So at this particular club right here, it was called The Kitchen. And so we got invited to come down to this punk rock club because the young lady that was given the show, she was into the art industry. And so Blondie, Debbie Harry from the group Blondie was supposed to introduce us. And she couldn't make it at that time because she was into the punk, scene and all that stuff. And she couldn't make it at the time. So she actually introduced us over the telephone to the punk rock community and say, well, this is the baddest group in New York City, the Funky 4+1. And that's how she introduced us, to the punk rock community. So you had people, it was like a march party. Mosque? You had people like throwing each other all up in the air. People were hollering and screaming. That club and that punk rock club received hip hop in so many ways that we could never even imagine. And so we helped introduce the art of the MC to the punk rock clubs down in Midtown Manhattan. And we were the first. And I was the first female MC to ever play for a punk rock club or any club, any people outside of the normal nationalities that we were used to being around. Yes.
This is awesome information. Oh my God. So, like I said, I want us to come back. We're going to play this full video at the end of the show.
Mhm.
Now, today, let's talk about That's the Joint.
Yes.
Let's talk about this opportunity like Sirius what is it, Sirius XM?
Yes, yes. So what happened was, I always post my things about hip hop culture, and I'm very thorough about what was going on. And so LL reached out to me on Instagram, and he was like, "I need to talk to you. Send me your number." So I said, "No problem." So he was like, "Listen, Sha ROck, I gotta have you on Rock the Bells Radio because you represent hip hop culture to the fullest, and we never really hear from women that has the thorough information about hip hop culture." He said, "So I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it, but I'm gonna figure it out. So just let me know whenever you're ready." So he put us with a producer, and a program director, and a couple of months later, we signed our contract, early, after he came to me, but a couple of months later we were on the air. And so they came back to me and they said, "Okay, what do you think about, Grandmaster Kaz doing it with you?" I say, "Look, no problem." And Kaz had told me in the beginning that he had reached out to L, have his own show too. But I think, everything happens in time. And so I'm glad that L reached out to me personally to say, "I want you on board, to have this show here on Rock the Bells Radio because it's about OGs, and you as a female represent this culture like that to the fullest. So let's make it happen." And I'm excited.
Yes. So it comes on Monday through Friday, right? From
Eastern
10 to 1, right?
Yeah. And
so what is that station? The station is 43?
Yes, ma'am. And we kick the ballistics. We done had so many people come through. We just starting out, so we're getting our interviews up. We had so many people come through. This week we're having Monday we're having Kelly Rowland coming through. So we're excited about that. Angie Stone just came through. So we're excited about all the different people that we're getting ready to meet and engaged in their art as well.
Kelly Rowland. And I love Angie Stone too.
Yes,
big shout out to Angie Stone.
She gave her history, as to how the sequence and everybody came together, and got down with the Sugar Hill Records. And I aided her for coming through. Because we go back, we were best friends coming up, in 79. So we go back.
So how is it being an interviewer now? You spent so many years being interviewed, so now you're the one that's presenting and opening up the dialogue. Like, how is that, this flip for you right now?
So I'm nosy. I like to talk about stuff that people won't ask, or maybe, afraid to ask. And I think it's very important because what it does is that it shows the journey of that artist, and I ask the questions without being disrespectful. But I think I'm a people person, and I like to see how people move, and I like to see how people think, and just to talk to people and see and learn their journey, in life and going through the music industry. It's like always something new, because then it falls back on you and to say, okay, well, you're not the only one that went through the struggles and the journeys as well. There's other people out there that has had to go through the struggles just like you did, or maybe even worse, to have gotten where they are now. So it's a learning experience for me, and I'm excited about asking those questions and having the opportunity to interview people that I probably wouldn't normally meet because I'm a homebody. You know what I'm saying? Now I am, but it's an excellent opportunity.
You just described my whole passion too.
Yes.
That is my journey. I just love hearing stories. I just love people, just people. I'm like really intrigued, and it doesn't matter if it's somebody in the game. It could be, somebody, my next door neighbor. It's like, I'm intrigued to learn about people and their passions and, what drives them. I think that's important. And that's how you really get to know a person. Exactly. And today, right? And today is very, like, how transparent are you? Like, how important do you feel it is to be transparent when you are being watched and so many people are listening and following you?
Well, for me, hip hop culture made me who the woman I am today. Simply because I've always wanted to be respectable of the culture as a woman. And I've always lived by being transparent. You understand? And so, but I have zero tolerance for mess. So if someone comes to me with some crazy stuff, Deborah, and they be like, well, Sha ROck, you know, this, that, I cut them off. Because my thing is that I don't have time for it. When you come to me as transparent as I come to you. Be straight up, be honest with it. Because if not, I don't have the time to sit here and listen to what you want me to believe. You know, because if I'm coming transparent, I want you to do the same for me. And so I just think for me, that's how I always live by. I ain't changing. I just feel like when you're transparent, the conversations and who you are as a person is more out front. And then people know how to deal with you on that level. You know, you understand what I'm saying? You get less bull when people understand that you're transparent and this is how it's going to be. And that's it. So I think for me in my life, I deal with a lot less because I am transparent.
Right.
I don't like nonsense.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out a way, okay, because to keep it like I have so many female MC friends, right? And I know sometimes it could be a controversy or certain things going on. How, like, what's the unity goal?
Okay.
Right,
So
without saying something, but not saying, not saying like what's the unity goal with the females and MCs?
Transparent. I'm gonna be transparent with you. The problem is with the unity, and I'm saying let's start from my beginning, is that until women, starting with my era, accept the contributions that each and every one of us did, that is the only time that the unity will come together. Because if you say that you was the first female MC, and I'm talking to me, I'm talking about me. If you say that you was the first female MC and all the things that I previously told you of how I was the influencer, the innovator, the things that I did, then respect me for the things that I brought to this culture. Respect me for the craft of being the innovator and the female that moved this culture forward, instead of not acknowledging that. And I'm not saying all females, I'm saying some. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just not being disrespectful for what I and many others that came behind me brought to the game. That's the problem that we have with women. Now, there are some that are respectful to the culture. There are some that respect what I did, the next female did, and the next female did. And that's how the unity come together. Until you respect what that female has brought to hip hop culture and the next female behind her and the next female behind her, I get it. Everybody wants their stories to be told, but you must respect the ones that came before you that set the standards and the guideline for hip hop culture, especially for female MCs. And so shout out to the Mercedes ladies who do that. Shout out to Queen Lisa Lee who do that. They know the deal. You understand what I'm saying? And they do respect the history for female MCs that was out there. And I had a talk with Angie Stone as well, when I interview her, and she get it. She says the same thing. And once we come together as women and respect the trails, or how the next person blazed the trail for the next woman, I mean, that's how you can come together. But I think, you got to do that. And you have people like MC Light and Queen Latifah and Miss, who are doing those things as well, respecting, the females that came before for them and also the females, so shout out to them as well.
Right, right. I just wanted to make a mention of it because, I do, see things or whatever. And it's just, when you outside, you don't really understand it. But I know that I've been in a position, I've been in a room with so many great females. And to me, outside, it was surprising, because it's so many years later, too. I'm like, wow, it's like, people still holding on to things. But like you said, everybody had a journey. Everybody made a contribution. And it's not about, oh, I have to knock somebody down to make my contribution look bigger or greater. Like collectively, everyone contributed in their own way to making hip hop what it is today.
Right.
You know?
Right. But the thing is that once again, you're dead on with that. But as the first female MC and what I bring to the table, I have to tell the history of the female MC.
Right.
Because if I don't tell the story, then who's going to tell it for me? You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not telling you just without proof, just without archives, without documentation to say, this is who I am. So the bottom line is that if you begin to start respecting what came before you, even if you didn't have the journey of MC Sha ROck or maybe MC Light or Queen Latifah, but you still must respect the journey. And once you respect it, then everybody in hip hop culture, especially women, you know, will say, okay, listen, it ain't us against the men or whatever. It's us against the world. We all rocking together in unity as one. Respect the journey.
Respect the journey. Exactly.
Right.
Now, you know, we have to talk about the Universal Hip Hop Museum, right?
Yes,
and what was that? Last year, you came to the museum. They actually, matter of fact, we have a little snippet of, let's talk about how important, when we come back, I want to show them you being interviewed by television, and you know, a TV show program came out, they interviewed you, and you actually gave them a little background of you. So I definitely want to show that. And let's come back and talk about the museum a little bit. Okay, you can roll the clip.
It's a great way to wake up in the morning. Let me tell you, it's kind of wild to think this is now, hip hop has become such an institution. It deserves a museum. It certainly does, and it's in the works. And you are getting a sneak peek right here. And we're talking to, I guess, you can talk to some of the founders of this art right here this morning with Sha ROck, who it's a first generation.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Yes, I am.
What was it like back then? What's it like now?
Okay, so let me tell you who I am. My name is MC Sha ROck. I'm from the legendary hip-hop group, the Funky 4 Plus One More, first hip-hop group on national television with Blondie. I'm also the founding member, one of the founding members of hip-hop culture. When you ask me what it's like, you know, back then, it is like, as teenagers, we never thought that it would come this far. And our whole thing is that we were out there doing what we loved at the time. I started off as a B girl, and then in '77 I became the first female MC of hip hop culture. And so this place right here, the evolution of hip hop, is like the best place to represent the origins of hip hop, simply because it started here in the Bronx. You know, mostly, you know, everybody that's sitting here right now, especially my DJ right here, we were on the ground floor. We were there from day one. Right now, I'm representing all the elements, all the
names on your jacket there.
Look at this.
Now, it's absolutely fantastic.
The places that was synonymous in New York City that we performed at in hip-hop culture.
I just want to ask you, this is a sort of a temporary museum, but Hamidi, eventually there'll be a permanent one across the street that's going to open in 2023. But what's it like to stand here and see people come in and sort of get a taste of what you guys have?
Okay, it seems like the audio went out a little bit on it.
Authentic hip hop culture to materialize into a professional artist today, representing Philadelphia for B-girlism and stuff like that. Like, this is a dream state, and I feel like this museum is well overdue. You know,
absolutely. And Lee from B Street, what does it feel like to be in a museum? Did you ever? I never could imagine it. I imagine.
Me as a kid, you know, this was something that I just did just for fun, and just to know that we here today. I am hip hop. I represent the element of b-boy, and
important
shows the culture, the history, how it started,
to preserve hip hop. So let's talk about the Universal Hip Hop Museum.
Okay, so I got involved with the Universal Hip Hop Museum when they had started, you know, from the ground floor, you know, trying to put everything together. So I had created, you know, a women hip hop team where they can come in, you know, and offer their expertise. And so during that time, I sort of kind of, you know, swayed away from it because I was, you know, doing other things and not spending as much time as I needed to help, you know, Rocky Buchanan out as well. But let me tell you, he is very resilient about ensuring that the Universal Hip Hop Museum comes to fruition. And even when other people didn't believe that this was going to happen, Rocky Buchanan stayed on it 100%, you know, along with LG Cutman. They were on, you know, and everybody in the background was like, I don't believe it's going to happen. It's not going to happen, this and that. But he was resilient. He stayed on it. He made sure that it got to where it needed to be. And today they have, you know, just a temporary spot, you know, in the Bronx, but the museum is being built. And I just want to shout out to Rocky Buchanan for doing that, because I'm telling you, I said to the Bronx Borough president back in 2004 that I felt like the museum should be in New York City, because at the time the Smithsonian Institute, they were, you know, doing, you know, pieces of hip hop, you know, in a section, you know, at the Smithsonian. But I said, okay, well, if they can do it, then we need to do it. We need to have that revenue right here in the Bronx. It should be no other place. And I think that Rocky, even when people didn't believe in what he was doing, he took off with it and running and kept doing it and putting a team together to ensure that this would come to fruition. So shout out to him and shout out to the Bronx, you know. And to be honest with you, that museum would not only just be about the Bronx, but it would be about, you know, other artists that had contributed to the culture, you know, in hip hop. So it's going to be a museum for everybody, you know. And once again, shout out to Rocky Buchanan for making that dream come true. I respect it.
Yes, indeed. And it does cover like the 5 elements of hip hop.
Yes.
So it's not only the MC, it's the closing, it's the DJ, it's the B-boy, it's the break, the graffiti. It covers all elements of hip hop.
Hip hop is not hip hop without those elements, you know, because a lot of times, Coco, a lot of times people will be like, well, what do you think about hip hop today? So I tell them, I say, what you should be asking me is, what do I think about rap music within hip hop today? Because that's what you really want to ask me. Hip hop culture. We celebrate elements. That's what it's about.
Yes, that is so true. And I know I would just want to congratulate you. I know you have a teaching position coming up in January. Yes, I do my research. Yeah, I got to do my research when I have you come on the show. You know, congratulations. Like I said, I just see nothing but many, many blessings coming your way. You know, so that shows you when somebody has good integrity and they move in the right way, good things always come. It always come. And you are definitely receiving your blessings and your flowers. And I definitely want to talk to you and tell you how proud I am of you, how happy I am for everything that I see that is moving forward in your life. Can they still go and purchase the book? Is it on? Where can they go purchase it?
They can purchase it on Amazon. You know, I have it on Amazon in audio and also in regular book. They can still purchase it. But I also want to say to everybody out there that's listening, follow your dreams. All the young kids out there, follow your dreams. And for me, I never questioned God as to why me, why not me. You understand? Because I found in life, and even especially as I got older, that your time, there's a timing or when you will be put in positions or put into places or something may happen. Never question nothing. Just be still, because it will come. Just be diligent and doing what you got to do, but never question nothing. Never say why me. Just move forward, you know, and continue to know that your time is coming for good.
Right. And I was definitely going to ask you to drop a jewel, and you dropped a jewel for me. Yeah. But that is so true. We spend so much time sometimes comparing ourselves to the other. Oh, why this is not happening for me? Oh, I did all this work and why I got bypassed. Your time is your time. Your journey is your journey. And like you say, never question that.
Be still.
Never question it. Never question it. I've had people come up to me and say, oh, you should have been on the radio station. I'm like, no, I should be where I'm at.
But look what you are now. You're a teacher to students, and you also have your own show, Just Give Me the Mic. And you have Sha ROck on the show, as many others, where you can tell the history and the culture and the journeys of each and every artist or whoever that comes through. So he has placed you in a position that you are okay, and he only will elevate you to higher terms as well. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And we are actually out of time. I feel like we just started talking.
I'm a master ceremony. I can talk.
Right. I like I said, I really appreciate you joining me today. Again, this show is regarding Hip Hop History Month. What better guest to have on the show? The luminary icon, legendary queen, and I consider my sister.
Yeah, you are.
MC Sha ROck. And are we having MC Sha ROck Day in the Bronx?
Yes.
That's what I need to know before we go.
They just called me last night. So for everybody out there that don't know, the Bronx has given me my own day. Last year was on June 6th. In 2022, next year, June 4th, I want everybody to come out there. It's going to be free. We're going to have people out there. Listen, we have fun. We take it back. We have fun. A safe environment. June 4th is MC Sha ROck Day in New York City. So listen, I expect y'all to be out there. 2022. Yes.
Yes, we're going to do it, y'all. And shout out to Andy King.
Yeah.
He was very instrumental in helping you to put that together. Is that right?
He made MC Sha ROck Day because he said, look, I know your history. We need to let everybody else know. So we're going to honor you with MC Sha ROck Day. And I truly appreciate it. And shout out to the Bronx, New York. That's my home. I don't live in Texas, but I'm always going to represent y'all to the fullest. For real.
Yes. And you always do.
Yes.
Everything that goes down that you can make it, you are here. So that has also been validated and confirmed. Because I keep an eye on the streets and I see who comes through. So I'm helping to put my stamp on that comment right there. Okay.
Yeah. Now, Deborah, you got to come out too, because usually I have Rod Digger hosting. Maybe you can come out and do like a pre-host or host with her or something like that. But
we talked about the committee. Remember, if you need me on board, I'm here. And we have each other's numbers. I will definitely stay in touch. So again, they telling me to wrap it up. I could keep talking. But again, thank you so much for joining me on the show. Make sure you follow and support MC Sha ROck. Y'all see the social media tags. Support what she's doing. Make sure you tune in to Sirius XM Radio. That's the joint, Monday through Friday from 10 to 1.
Yes.
Support.
I love you.
Support. Yes. Love you, Queen. And we'll be back, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the show. And make sure you check us out every Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Channel 68 in Manhattan. 8 p.m. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And now we're going to go and we're going to play that throwback video. And we'll see you again soon, y'all. I hope you enjoyed.
Break out. Let our reggae play one more time. Nope. Yeah, one more time. Do it up, y'all. Come on. One time. Check it out. Just keep singing, baby, rock the house. Sure enough, everybody gonna turn it out. Well, okay, you rock well, cause you rock so well. And every time you hear my name, girl, it rings a bell. Well, I'm little on the scene making history with all the fly girls yelling, take me.
Outside, rockin', the camp keys stop for all. Oh. Gonna hit the top.
Well, I'm key, but you can call me Geese. You know the reason why, cause other women please her. Jazz with the most finesse, and I do it to the real until I do it the best. Now we're the funky four.
And I'm a plus one more.
And this is the way we go back and forth.
With the 5 MCs that are too much, and we rock the mics with the master time.
We're on time, we're masterminds. We hypnotize when we run down the rhyme.
They're 4 fly guys, I'm the best female.
Now listen to the story that's poppin' down. This guaranteed stuff around. We said it once, we said it twice. We're proving to y'all we're better than nice. Check it out, check it out. Party people in the place, New York.
I want to rock the world.
Oh, check it out.
Sha ROck, don't stop.
Just get on your mind when you're ready to rock.
Cause the sun won't shine, the rain won't stop. We got the style you call punk rock. Just get about the jail, stop the house and ball. We're 2 DJs from the 4 plus 1 to the people out there. We want y'all to know we are the ones with the magical show. We're 2 DJs and 5 MCs. 4 other fellas plus 1 is me. We're here to please everybody out there. Forget about the problems, get about your hands. Just get on the floor, don't you be shy. You can do it too, just give it a try. To the people out there, we want the best. That special guarantee is what we possess. Put it back on the mic with a master plan. We do it for the girl, woman, boy, and man. Most people go around just thinking anyway. We want you to hear what we say. The things we say, the things we do. It's like running a race and the don't come through. That's a lot of competition to be. But we are the ones, they are the ones. I am the one with the motion
+4, got rhymes galore. I'm the +1, born Sha ROck, and I'm down below. Rock well, don't stop the battle, just get on the mic, just get on the mic, just get on the mic when you're ready to rock.
Check it out, y'all. You don't stop. I wanna cruise around the world in my yacht. You wanna go to Hawaii, but everything's hot. You wanna go to the island where all the girls are. You wanna boogie and bounce to the break of dawn. You wanna sell see, do as a bleed. You wanna have on the girl like a dead in the Z. You wanna meet the president, shake his hand. You wanna go through the state, reach through the land. You wanna hear my day yell from miles away. While sitting at home, just collecting my pay. You wanna bust me big, my pockets feel foul. You want everyone to know that's where I'm at. I'm just that sweet, no feel you need. I'm ready to rock too, ain't you funky beat. I'm down below, with by below. That's why I'm down with the funk below. These 5 MCs don't take the job. Real rockin' to your beat, say you can't sell out. So kick off your shoes, relax your feet. Then explain to a boogie to the funky beat. Cause the sound you hear, also unique. To the beat, and you don't quit. Come on, rock the scene, come and get a little bit. Y'all, you don't stop. I got the qualifications to rock the best. There's no limitations to rock with them. Got the modifications all terrain. I won't fight a rhyme and I won't imitate another MC when he's running down rhymes. Cause at the time it's just running down. But that's alright because I know someday I put him in check and take his rep away. You know my name is known from land to left. Cause I'm a super fly guy with the mic in my hand. My name is known. You see, and when I'm on the mic, I go by the history. I'm a mystical, magical man on the mic. When I run down the rhyme, it will be in the light. Cause I'm a mean machine, so I have to plan. You see what I mean, but there's a mic and rhyme. I'm an inspiration all over the nation. I'll let you know that I'm a disco sensation. Rock, rock, y'all, to the beat, and you don't quit. Keep, come and get a little bit.
Check it out, y'all. You don't stop. And I hear ya. Well, I hear ya, MC Rock. See, we gonna rap on the mic, make history with all the fly girls yelling. Take me, I was walking down the block by myself with my pants on my top, and I didn't have belt. The pants I wore was so very nice. I was pocket deep at night. I saw this girl and she looked so fine. Instead, I looked, she was on my mind. I went over to give her a rap when I found out where she really was at. My mom forbid this and moved away. I went to a phone and called an OJ. OJ moved up to the phone, it was dark green with a light green tone. Before I finished, let me tell you straight that a car at the phone was a Vision 98. I got in everywhere we go through. It's not that a nigga started to buy some booze. We turned around and when 8 o'clock back, and I went in the cheap house to buy some black. We got so drunk, we got so high that back and did the ride. Didn't get hurt, nobody died. Strumming everybody and ride.
In a Mercedes,
young lady, that's the jam. Don't stop a melody. Just get on your mic and on the house right. Check it out, y'all. You don't stop. Sam Jazz and Jeff, I am the best. I can make your body move from right to left. I can make your body move from left to right. I can make your body move on me. All right, I'm the one MC that's proving to be the latest #1 nominee. Cause I got a little rap in the fancy style. I'm above MCs, on top of the pile. I rhyme all the time, I mess with mine. Make MCs want to bite my rhymes. I consider myself as one of the best. Cause I have been stalked to keep to finesse. My rhymes are slick, my rhymes are bad. Something other MCs never had. Cause when I start to rock, I just don't stop. Take that rhyme, no MC guitar. Just give me your minute, you'll never forget it. Just give me the hour, I'll give you the power. Just give me the test, I'll do it the best. Just give me the time, I'll give you a rhyme. Just give me a while, you'll like my style. Just give me the mic and I'll rhyme. Rock all night, rock the house. Jazz and Jeff, rock, shop, rock, turn it out. Sha ROck, don't stop this lady, just get on your mic. Just get on your mic, just get on your mic and rock the house right.
Let's go to work to the golden road. You go there, go. Work your body, work your body, but make sure you don't jerk your body. Do it. Say do that body to the funky side. Come on, everybody do. Get up and get down to the funky side. Everybody out there, come on and get down. Uptown, rock the house, and downtown, rock the house, and east side, rock the house, and west side, rock the house, and Manhattan, rock the house. Wherever you are, keep cooling out. Until the beat that makes you wanna rap. Come on, rock well, come out the crowd. But when you get on the mic and start to rap, and let everybody know you can never be the whack.
You know that.
And you know that.
And I know.
And he know.
And we know that.
You know what, rock well.
When I rap, Sha ROck, I can never be the whack.
And we hear rock well.
Check it out, y'all, and you don't stop. One time.
1, 2.
Yeah.
1, 2, party people.
One time.
It was a real pleasure to come down here tonight to play for y'all at the kitchen.
Hey everybody, this is your girl Deborah Coco of Just Give Me the Mic. And I have some important news to let y'all know, because on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. you can catch the show live and direct on City World Media. I'm so happy to come through with my friends and my team. We got good vibes, good music, and all that. But I need you to tune in and check it out. Make sure you go to www.cityworldmedia.com at 7 and see what Just Give Me the Mic is all about, y'all. I can't wait to meet you. See you soon.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, follow. From my city to your world. We are City World.